But I believe this was a good opportunity for RCB to not only win, but also make the net 100. But in the end, they will be happy with the 2 points. Nonetheless, KKR also missed their opportunity with that run out lost. Who knows, had DK got run out, what would have been the scenario in the last 10 balls?
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another edition of our show, Straight Bat with Mr. Cricket UAE, Anis Sajan. We have assembled here in the late hours once again to discuss what had been a cracker of a low-scoring match between RCB and KKR, with RCB finally having the last laugh with a 3-wicket win and logging their first points in IPL 2022. Now, with me, I've got obviously Mr. Sajan and cricket enthusiast Sahil Sajan, who had been also keeping late hours. Now, my first question to Anis will be, what a match. I mean, you've got the Pacers using the bounce, you've got Hasaranga, wreaking havoc on the rival batsman. Then Sunil Narine and Varun Chakravarti also doing their job. But finally, RCB going over the line. So your thoughts on that, Anis?
Well, two contrasting games I saw on this wicket. One which I was witness live to see, the Punjab versus RCB game, where 200 runs were chased with ease. When I say with ease, it was crossed in the 19th over. Whereas on this match, to chase 128, RCB made a meal of it. Yes, credit to the KKR bowlers that they fought. But I believe this was a good opportunity for RCB to not only win, but also make the net 100. But in the end, they will be happy with the 2 points. Nonetheless, KKR also missed their opportunity with that run out lost. Who knows, had DK got run out, what would have been the scenario in the last 10 balls?
Right. So, I mean, once again, in this wicket, when we thought that, Faf put in KKR to bat, we thought that, the match was almost half won there, but, that was only part of the story. I mean, the kind of bounce that was there on the wicket, I mean, which was making all the difference, which, these Pacers, Umesh used in the second innings, and then the spinners. So what made the difference in the tenor of these two games? A low-scoring one. Obviously, KKR failed to apply themselves today. Some of the shot selection was horrible. Where do you think KKR went wrong? I mean, wasn't a little bit of patience also needed?
Well, I'm afraid sometimes, this gungo style of cricket, which McCallum had started in the 2015 World Cup and then England started, it can go haywire. Because if you saw, with due respect to Hasranga, who got 4 wickets, the other wickets were all like they wanted to hit the ball out of the park, especially Shreyas Iyer. He had Sunil Narine at one end. His role was to make sure as a captain to back till the end. I mean, as much as you want to play that freestyle of cricket, you want to play that, fast track cricket, where you go bang, bang. And he still went and to say in the post-match that they're going to play the same style. They're not going to change. But you need to be having that shot selection. There's a difference between fearless cricket and careless cricket. And I'm afraid KKR were careless and they lost this match there itself. Okay, they made a fight with their bowlers, but they lost the match when you score 130, other 128 runs. Batting first is not accepted.
I think that's a very nice catch line. I mean, the slight difference between fearless and careless. So I'll come to Sahil. Sahil, what were the most interesting takeaways for you from a dramatic match like this? I mean, mistake prone, but very exciting. How would you look back at it, Sahil?
First of all, interesting. I'm gonna say Hasaranga is now a top class player. I want him to be like the next Shakib Al Hasan in world cricket. How much he's grown for Sri Lanka. Now clearly we saw today how he troubled the KKR bowlers. Yes, I mean the batsmen. Yes, agreed. KKR played really poor shots, and I get it. What was mentioned earlier. Yeah, come with that fearless tactic. What England cricket has taught us. But there's again a difference. They're all poor shots. You can see. You saw Nitish Rana shot. You saw Shreyas Iyer shot. You saw Narine shot. These are all poor shots. You don't. What can I say? I mean, they credit to them for fighting hard, and all the but the two fast bowlers I want to talk about, KKR, Umesh and Sadi, they're not that world class bowlers. They have played in the highest level, But those two really stepped up for KKR today. And obviously, we cannot miss out Sunil Narayan, the main man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Sunil had been, the tried and tested match winner for them. Now, Sahil, when there is something, when there is some juice in the wicket, I mean, eventually there is a question of, drawing up the balance between how much this Rana especially. This is not the first time that he has done it. He has had a 6 before that, mind you. Then again, he was trying something like that and he got the toppage and he was gone. So, first match, they were not tested. So now that with this kind of a batting lineup, how do you think, because all these wickets, they have something early on for the bowlers, isn't it?
Sahil, this is you.
Sahil,
Absolutely, see, they don't have that world-class batting lineup. They have decent batsmen. They expect now, clearly you can see they expect a lot from Venkatesh Iyer, what he did in the second half of last season. They expect too much from him, which I don't blame them. He's now an Indian cricketer also now. Let's not forget that. So they expect a lot from him. Obviously, they expect Shreyas to do some magic. Ajinkya Rahane has not been in that T20 form, like how he used to be back in the day. He's not the same, obviously, but they expect too much from 2-3 batsmen now. Obviously, we'll now see Pat Cummins coming in the bowling lineup. There are going to be some changes for KKR for sure.
Right. Anisbhai, coming back to you, you have seen Virat Kohli's dismissal. I mean, that was from that back of length. It was almost an unplayable delivery, but again, the tendency of poking at the delivery, something which is, which is being bowled through the channel. How do you look at it?
I'm glad, Gautam, you asked this because I was anyways about to talk about Virat Kohli. This is really bothering me. This is the dismissal where he used to get out to Anderson in England. And now when you know that you've lost your Faf du Plessis and you lost your early opener, and Virat is known to finish games, and this was a total where he could have let that ball go. Poking outside, you would probably get a single to third man. And there was bounce and there was a little bit of spice in the first few overs. I just get baffled now to see Virat Kohli getting out this way. Because this was the time to stamp his authority as the master of chase, and Virat Kohli making the same mistake again and again is a worrying sign, not only for his RCB, but for all Indian fans when he comes out and plays for India in the white ball or the red ball cricket, because this is not the Virat Kohli we know. He knew where his off stump was, and off late, he's been going too much outside the off stump and poking at deliveries where he should let it go. And today was not the chance because he was chasing 128. Not required, but I'm afraid time and again he's repeating the same mistake.
Right. Well, I mean, the resistance came from 3 kind of unheralded guys. I mean, you had David Willey and Rutherford. Rutherford, we have heard of. He has served West Indies well off and on in white ball. And then you have got Shahbaz Ahmed, who's also, he doesn't have that average of the runs to show, but he seems to have a good temperament. I mean, he has done it once in a while in the last season. Here also, do you think Shahbaz can be really groomed as a kind of left-arm spinner and all-rounder in there? There is a lack of big names. I mean, there is no AB. Of course, Maxwell is going to come in there. What do you think about these 3 guys who actually made the victory possible today?
First, let me talk about this guy, Sherfan Rutherford. I had seen him in the T10 very closely because he was part of my squad. And he used to have that Callisto style of batting where, he used to hit sixes at will. And in fact, he was the only player to get 100 in T20, which are rather T10 at that time. And with time, I thought he will mature into a good batsman. And today, what we saw that he put his head down, okay, he consumed a lot of balls, but that is what the situation demanded. But now coming to Willie's innings, again, he also is a dasher who put his head down, because at that time, had RCB lost 1 more wicket, who knows what would have happened. So they made sure that they stitched a partnership. And the last one you're talking about, Shahbaz Ahmed, yes, definitely he can be groomed as a batter. And he was the one who took the pressure of RCB by hitting 3 sixes, 2 of Russell and 1 of, I'm afraid, an off-color Varun Chakravarti today. So Shahbaz Ahmed's inning was one of the critical knocks which made him take RCB closer to the win. But again, one point, I want to come to that important point, Mr. Gautam, is a lot of players wants to play the glory shot, whether it is Hasranga in the end, or you're talking about even Yeah, the first boundary which our all-rounder, the guy who bowled beautifully today, Salu's at Harshal Patel. So there are
Harshal
times when you've got a boundary, you take a single and rotate the strike. I mean, it's easy for us to, as an armchair expert, to make these comments. It's when you're on the field, you tend to choke and make mistakes. But the run rate was not 10 and 12. The run rate was 7 and 8. You get a boundary, you go to the other side. Why not finish the game? Why not go take that single? But I'm afraid today's youngsters just want to go for the glory shots.
Right. Okay, before we wrap up, tomorrow we have got, the second round of games have started. So Chennai will be definitely looking for victory, and they've got the best chance against Lucknow Super Giants, who still doesn't look settled. What's your take on that, Anis? Who would you put your money on?
Definitely, I'll put everything on CSK because of this. They are an experienced team. They have Moeen Ali coming back into the squad. And I've always been a little bit apprehensive about KL Rahul's captainship. I understand that he scores runs, but he goes into his own shell when he's captaining. And you are not against MS Dhoni, but you are under a player who is under MS Dhoni's shadow. There is Ravindra Jadeja. I believe the tails of CSK will be up when they match up against Lucknow. But this T20, as I said, defies all logic, especially IPL. Any match can go for a twist. But if you have to back one team, I would back CSK.
CSK. Sahil, your take before we close this?
I don't know generally. Like both teams look average on paper. You know what? I'm gonna give the new team. I'm gonna support the new team tomorrow.
Why? Why?
Just why support the big team? The most experienced. I'm gonna go for Lucknow.
What do you mean? Why support the new team? That's why you want to support the old team. Say that Rahul is. You want to support Rahul and give him a win.
Yeah, maybe you can say that. I hope to see a shocker tomorrow. That's all.
So say that CSK is favorite.
CSK is obviously a favorite, but I hope to see a shocker. That's all.
But what's your call, Gautam?
See, I'm also putting it, maybe 60-40 in favor of CSK, because I don't expect Rahul and Quinton de Kock to, fail in every game. But having said that, Moeen Ali coming back there that also, gives them a lot of balance. And then the way, the consistency which Ruturaj had shown, with Ruturaj and Devon Conway also, it's difficult to see them, failing again. But in that power play, a lot of things are happening over the last 4 or 5 games. So let's see what's in store. We are looking for certainly another. Thanks to both of you for being there. Tune in tomorrow for our program of Straight Bat with Mr. Cricket TV. Good night.